my design career in New York, where I had to design some pretty small spaces, which was no easy task. But I absolutely love the challenge, and I've learned some great tips and tricks on how to maximize square footage, and I'm going to share those with you today on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. When designing for small spaces, the most important thing in your plan is to utilize every inch of space in the room. This can really help you maximize all of the square footage. Today, I'll show you how to make a room feel larger with the right layout, add a seating area in a small bathroom, create more storage when there's lack of closet space, and much more. So we are in my own condo here in Fort Lauderdale, and this space did not always look like this. It has seen many different designs over the years. This is my most recent, and I absolutely love this space. But I really want to share with you guys how I made this feel larger, because it's actually only 850 square feet total, the entire condo. And in situations where you have this sort of open living room, dining room floor plan, you really have to make the room work for all of the functions that have to happen in it. So first things first was I needed to establish a dining area. A round table really maximizes all of the space around it. If I had gone with something rectangular, it would not really work well, especially with this angled window behind me. So this kind of creates a nice flow of space. So first tip, if you are in a smaller space, a little bit more narrow, a small round table is always a great choice. Now, having the lighting above it definitely also helps. Adding a bright light already makes it feel bigger. So more opportunities to add brighter lighting. That's just another quick tip, is when you are working with a smaller table, your light fixture needs to be in scale of that. So I had to go a little smaller. This is about a 20-inch diameter. So you see, it just doesn't overwhelm. A normal size larger dining fixture would have looked a bit too much here. So one of my favorite tips to make a small space look bigger is mirrors. So what I did here, I added a full-length floor mirror to reflect all of the light in this area. And when you really place that right, it almost creates the effect of another window because all of the natural light is bouncing off of it. This was a really awkward corner. I had nothing to put in here, and I thought, what a great space to create a little nook, a small lamp, another opportunity for lighting, a little chair for reading, or honestly just decorative as well, and this mirror. So creating a little vignette, if you want to say, in the awkward corners, always adding a little mirror, helps kind of treat that space, and when you have that reflectivity, it really opens up the room as well. One of the biggest design elements in this room for me was the wall covering. I wanted one strong accent wall, and I went with this beautiful pattern here in like a charcoal gray tonality. And what was so important about going with some darker tone here was that it was such a great juxtaposition to what's on the other side of the room. And by adding a darker color, it really adds some depth. And then I went with a very, very soft, almost white gray for the rest of the walls to balance it out. So I want to point out one more thing. In this particular case, it didn't work for me to have chairs here because my dining room is right here, and I wanted to create an open flow. And on the other side is the kitchen, which you will see shortly, and there's a whole lineup of chairs there. So it sort of creates one almost linear conversational area, and I have the accent chair that could also pull in. You have to really plan for your space. Here, I just did a deeper sofa, so it's a little bit more comfortable, and added a pair of end tables with the lamps. Again, in a smaller space, you really want to have every opportunity to bring in more light, and especially in condos, because you don't have the opportunity always of a full ceiling of recessed lighting. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, tips to make a small kitchen more functional.
I'm Tat with FHIA, and we're going to stop at another window installation to find out why this family decided to upgrade with better hurricane protection on today's SoFlo Home Project.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we're here today in my condo, which is a small space, and it's big on design though, and that's really what this is all about. I want to share with you how to maximize small spaces to be efficient as well as beautiful. So I thought I'd start with the kitchen here and share with you a little backstory. So the original kitchen, before I got my hands on it, was an L shape, which ideally, if it was really a more expansive area, I could have fit a breakfast nook or something like that. But in this case, it was only 3 feet. Cabinets take up 2 feet of depth, so it felt natural to be able to continue to wrap it. It also had the raised bar, which, as we know, in time, people are now lowering the bar, creating one flat level, and this has made this peninsula feel just so much more spacious. But the biggest change in this smaller space was going to the white painted door. And I actually didn't even rip the cabinets out at all. These were simply repainted. Keep in mind, color is very important when you are working in small spaces. Think about going lighter with your cabinets if the rest of the room is dark. As you saw earlier before the break, my living room has darker floors, darker accent walls, so I needed to balance it. So what I love most about small kitchens is because there's not so much to purchase when you're doing the renovation, you really can splurge on those little details that elevate your design. And I'm going to show you some of those details. But first, let's see what Tat Granata from FHIA has for us today.
In meeting with this homeowner, there were several reasons why they wanted to change out their windows. They wanted to upgrade for better hurricane protection. They also wanted to change the look of the front of the home. And also, if we were able to help them with energy efficiency, they wanted to try to save more of the money they were given to FP&L. They currently have aluminum frame windows. So when we met with the family, we showed them a couple different options. One was to replace it with another aluminum frame window, but with hurricane protection. And another option we looked at was vinyl. When they said they wanted something more energy efficient, we ultimately elected to go with the vinyl frame because it's not going to conduct that heat. It's not going to allow that heat to transfer from the outside into the inside like the aluminum frame will. So from an energy efficient standpoint, they really wanted to go that route, and they don't sacrifice anything as it relates to protecting their family from the hurricane. So it was a pretty easy decision for them. Another concern in talking to the family was security from intrusion. So with the hurricane impact glass, it'll make it extremely difficult for somebody to break in and give them just the year-round safety that they were looking for. So I'm going to get out of the way, let the crews get in here, and I know they're going to love their decisions. So this is another 2-section sliding window that's been completed. It's very similar to the one we just looked at. It gives a lot of clearance in case there's an emergency for anyone in the family to be able to get out. It also allows a lot of fresh air to come into the home. We provided the hurricane protection they were looking for with the impact glass. Also with the Solar Max technology on the glass, it's going to reflect the heat away from the home, making the space a lot more comfortable. We also went with the vinyl frame so it won't conduct the heat. It won't allow the heat to transfer from the outside into the inside of the home. So it makes it more energy efficient as well. So everything turned out really well. The installation went perfectly. Back to you, Alena.
Thanks, Tat. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the little details that, again, small space, big style. So what I did here, a couple of things. I really wanted to elevate the look with hardware that was a little bit different. I love the look of acrylic and chrome. It also lightens up the space and just gives a little bit more of a dramatic flair. And then that brings me to the backsplash. Since it's a smaller space, there's not a lot of square footage you need to purchase tiles, so it's really a great way to bring in something beautiful and different. And in this case, I did something that's pretty, but I also did something that adds a little function. So I'm gonna explain. I did a mirrored backsplash. For one, the mirror reflects light, makes this whole area feel bigger than it is. This kitchen is right in the entry of the condo. You walk into it. So by having this whole mirrored backsplash, it really reflects the space and makes it feel bigger than it ever did before. And now a couple more quick tips when it comes to the sink. I happen to do a very large sink here. Sometimes in smaller kitchens, if you are renovating it, going with a large sink takes a lot of overall space you're gonna need for appliances and other things you have to fit in. So you always have to be mindful of what is the gain and what is the loss. But a couple of things I did here, you have to think about, if you have an open floor plan, where it's open to. I don't want to sit in the family room and see this large high arc faucet in view. So for me, I went with a very sleek styling. It still has the pull-out spray, so it has great function, but it blends and is more, I would say, decorative as well as functional. Coming up next, with a small bathroom, you can splurge big on finishes. Too early to start preparing for hurricane season, but covering the cost of protecting your home and finding the right contractor can be difficult. We're here with Deb Castro of Why Green today to find out some of the solutions they offer. Hi Deb, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so we always love getting your advice, and as we know, home improvement projects can be very, very stressful, dealing with contractors and all that's involved. How does Why Green help?
Why Green makes it affordable for homeowners to finance upgrades for increased comfort, safety, and even potential insurance savings. With 100% no money down finance, not based on credit score, competitive interest rates, and extended terms.
Sounds like a lot of great help.
Yes, it totally is.
Deb, so what types of home improvement projects are eligible?
There's actually hundreds of qualifying improvements. The most common, of course, are the impact windows and doors, roofing, standby generators, and solar.
So a lot of the big ticket items for the home, generators, roofs, solar, all of those things. So you could help homeowners with so much.
Yeah, anything that's hurricane protection or energy efficiency. So yeah, there's a lot of improvements we can definitely finance.
So Deb, I think one of the most difficult things when you're looking for a contractor for a home improvement project is making sure you're picking not only the right one, but a reputable one, because there is so much entrusted in them with the project. So how does Why Green help homeowners with that?
Yeah, well, we work with an independent network of contractors, and they've actually met our rigorous program requirements that are beyond what the state and local governments require. And they don't get paid until the homeowner signs off, which obviously makes the homeowner feel, better about everything.
So the fact that Why Green can take care of all of that with the payments and everything else and making sure all of the work is done before people get paid for the job, I think is such a great thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So when it comes to home improvement projects, problems can arise at any time. And so when it comes to a problem, what are some of the ways that Why Green can assist?
Well, we have a dedicated staff that's, of course, always there to manage and resolve complaints quickly. We're very committed to providing a transparent, easy to understand home improvement financing, and that begins with the highest level of consumer protections in the home improvement industry. Homeowners are definitely protected, and that's one of the things we take pride in at Why Green.
Sounds great. Definitely something when it comes to doing a project that you feel you are protected from everything from the start to the finish.
Absolutely.
Deb, so you've shared so much great information with us today. I want to thank you for your time, but the most important thing is if homeowners are interested in getting assistance with Why Green, how do they contact you?
Yeah, if they have any more questions, they can visit us at whygreen.com, and that's actually energy spelled backwards, or they can call us at 866-IMAGINE.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me again.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are here in my bathroom. We're actually in my condo today, and we are talking about small spaces, big design. So there's usually a lot of ways that you can maximize square footage in a small space, especially when you're renovating. And bathroom design in particular is one room where if you design it right, you can make the room feel twice the size. When I first moved into this condo, there was just one vanity here. So actually the vanity that you're seeing, very similar in size, had one little mirror over it. The room would look nice if I did a mirror this size above it, but it looks almost twice the size when you do this. Now, the most important part of this bathroom for me was the addition of more cabinetry, more storage, and a seated area for makeup. That was like my one wish list. I've always wanted to add that in the bathroom. And I used to have just like a hamper sitting there. Again, wasted space when you could build it out. And you see, it still feels quite spacious. So what I did here was something that I think anyone can do with cabinetry. I used 12-inch deep cabinets. So what you're seeing here are actually kitchen wall cabinets. I had the installers build up a toe kick on the bottom to bring it up to the normal vanity height of 34.5 inches. So I created all of this area. I even stacked one above it, a higher cabinet, and then ordered additional trim to stack it to the ceiling. So I wanted it to look fully built in. And again, big mirror. Don't be afraid to go all the way up with your mirrors. Sometimes that really just adds such a grandness to the room. I love this. I sit here every day. It's spacious. And again, I hope that you guys got some great tips on that, because you don't need 22 inches of depth to do something like this. As you can see here, 12-inch deep cabinets with a little overhang, about 14 inches. Totally fine. Plenty of space to sit, and look at this. It's so convenient. I've got all of my stuff at my fingertips. I could access everything, and it's a great way to maximize space in a small bath. Coming up next, designer tips on how to get more out of your small closet. SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are talking small spaces, big style today, all day. Before the break, I've been showing you how to maximize kitchens, baths, living room, dining room, but the master bedroom is really what it's all about. I anchored the room with an accent wall. I love adding that accent wall in any size bedroom, and again, in small spaces, it's still really nice because it adds depth. I did something that has a little metallic and a little bit of texture. I think a lot of the times people think small bedroom, you can't do a big bed, can't do a high headboard. Not the case. You want the bed you choose to balance in the room. I actually have a queen size bed here. A king might have worked, but you always want to make sure that it's gonna make sense in the room. Just to have a king size bed and a very tight area to walk around doesn't always work sometimes. So here I went a little smaller to free up a seated area on the other side and room for a desk. And instead of having a big chair that would be bulky, I found a really nice sturdy ottoman that worked just as well. And this way it pushes underneath, creates a decorative look, but again, doesn't overwhelm the space. The biggest part of this entire design plan was the addition of more closet space. And I'm gonna show you how I did that. So this was where the existing closet ended, right over here. So as you can imagine, it was 5 feet wide by 7. It was a very small walk-in closet, but there was never enough space. Is there ever enough closet space? There's never enough. So one day I said, you know what? I could build off of this. I could steal 3 feet of space from the room. I figured out the floor plan. I had enough to fit the bed. So what I did was I had them build 3 feet off the wall. So that created another area, all shoe storage. And on this side, I was able to kind of get an area for luggage. I created shelving for other items, and then winter coats, because although I don't wear them here, I do wear them at times in the winter, and I like to have them. So this became the coat closet as well. So let me show you a little further in here. I added the dangly crystal chandelier because it belongs in a girly closet. I really wanted to add that touch. When I planned this, I had to be mindful to create sections where I could still fit more shoes. So I used the bottom 2 shelves for shoe storage, and then did a lot of hanging, long hanging in the back. I was able to get dresses and everything else that would hang at an appropriate height. Now this was the initial inside of the closet. There was nothing on this wall, and it was just not useful. So because you still need a walkway, I thought I'm gonna take 4 inches. I bought these items online to hold all of the jewelry, all of the stuff that was always cluttered in bins and just thrown around. I love these. Use every inch of space on a wall in a closet. Don't ever let any area go uncovered, because there is a way you can organize it. So I hope that you guys got some great tips on designing small spaces, and we've got a whole lot more design inspiration for you. Next week on SoFlo Home Project, the 70s are making a comeback. We're transported back in time as we tour a beautiful home which has been inspired by the love of 70s decor. And if you're interested in some great health and lifestyle tips, got to check out what Hunter Franke from SoFlo Health has going on. Hunter, what's up for tomorrow?
Hey there, Alena. Tomorrow on SoFlo Health, we head behind the scenes to a brownie production line. Don't worry, they're healthy brownies. We reduce the sugar, increase the protein. Well, watch tomorrow and you'll find out more. Plus, Professor Produce checks in and talks to us about the health benefits of watercress. Morgan keeps us mobile and moving with some movements to keep you mobile. That makes sense, right? There are fun movements you can do pretty much anywhere and you'll feel great after the fact. Plus, COVID vaccinations are ramping up, so we tell you everything you need to know before, during, and after a vaccination. It's all tomorrow right here on 12:30 on Local 10.
Thanks, Hunter. We'll definitely be watching. And to our viewers at home, thanks for joining us this week. And we hope to see you again next week for another episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like home. SoFlo Home. If you missed any part of this episode, or if you're looking for more design inspiration, make sure to check out all episodes online at SoFloHomeProject.com. You could also submit your own design disasters, and you never know, we could be knocking on your door to help. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.